Liam Payne's widow breaks her silence, and major Liam Payne tea. We got to talk about this. But before we get into it, hello, my name is Sebastian, and I spill pop culture tea videos every single day. So if you're looking for a new messy best friend, you have found me. You guys, welcome back. I just first wanted to say I love you all so much. I'm so grateful. The whole vibe on my channel is like we're on a FaceTime call. So if you are looking for someone just to hang out with on a bad day, or you're just needing some company, I got you. All right, besties. So today marks 9 months since the world lost Liam Payne, which is so insane that it's been 9 months. 9 freaking months. I have to say, you guys know that when he passed, I covered his passing. I covered all the legal stuff. I covered everything that had to do with him. And quite frankly, I was not vibing with Kate Cassidy. And I think it was more of this like anger that I had, thinking had Kate stayed, he wouldn't have been so alone and wouldn't have been through what he went through, and maybe he would still be here. But as a complete stranger saying that, or even thinking that, I feel now 9 months later that that was not right of me to do that, because I'm not there. Neither are you, girl. We don't know these people personally. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We have no idea, right? And at some point in time, I now think, after many months of therapy that I have made, I started therapy in February. I now realize that sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for yourself. And you gotta, even though it may be hurtful to your loved ones, you gotta put yourself first sometimes in order to be okay for others. And her leaving Argentina was just that. Having said that, Kate Cassidy posted a very heartbreaking video today. Check this out.
Today marks 9 months since Liam has left this world, and I don't know if this is just a message for myself or for Liam or for anybody that's navigating through grief that needs to hear this. Sometimes I'm bad at putting things into words, but I just want to speak. And I had this long train of thought yesterday. Yesterday, I cut my hair. I got new tattoos. I got my ears pierced. And for some people, they might look at these as minor things, but for me, these are big changes. And then I start to think, Liam's never seen me with hair this short. Liam has never seen me with all of these tattoos. I just started to think deeper into it. And my first thought was, I don't know how heaven works, but is Liam gonna look the same way that he looked since the last time I saw him, since the last day that I saw him? Is he still going to be that beautiful, youthful human that he was and that he is? And then I started to look at older photos this morning, photos of me and Liam, and I just started thinking to myself, wow, I look so different. And it's not just the hair, it's not just the tattoos. Like, there was something about me that looked so different than what I looked like 9 months ago. Then I started thinking further ahead, and I just started to think about, if I am blessed to live a healthy, long, beautiful life, when my time comes, will Liam recognize me? Like, I'm going to be old, I'm going to have wrinkles, I'm going to have white hair, bony hands. How will Liam find me? How will he recognize me? And I just got really emotional. And I was with my friend, and my friend said, Kate, of course he's gonna recognize you. Sorry if I'm shaking. Of course he's gonna recognize you. He's gonna recognize you no matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how old you are, he's gonna recognize you. And you know what he's gonna say to you? He's gonna come up to you and he's gonna look at you and he's going to say to you, he's so glad you look the way you look. He's so glad that you were lucky enough to age and have these wrinkles and have the white hair and have the evidence of living these years without him by your side. He is going to be happy that you lived and lived fully and lived a life. And he's going to want to sit there and hear all about it. And it just really reminded me to stay strong and to carry on and live my life to the fullest for what I can right now, not only for myself, but for him. So, here's to another day of living life without the person that I love. I miss you so much, and I love you so much.
All right, so like I said, and by the way, a lot of people have an issue with me calling her widow. I misused that word, but you know, they were on their way to getting married, so it was his girlfriend. You know, like I don't know, like yeah, okay, it's only wife that's the widow, but still, like whatever. Like people are just so fucking weird. Listen, I think the way that she expressed herself and the way that she's been expressing herself is actually very, very healthy, as I mentioned. I think that the way that she is dealing with everything, I think, is something so beautiful and heartbreaking at the same time. No one wants to go through these things. Nobody wants to lose someone that way. And I always kind of felt really connected to the Liam Payne passing because I lost my brother. He took his life. He was also under substances. And so I felt this connection with Liam also with that. And it, not only because of that, but I really, really, really wanted and still want justice for Liam. I don't think we got it. And at some point, you have to understand that, yes, while we want justice for Liam, you also have to heal. And I really think that Kate Cassidy's way of healing is actually very refreshing to see and very, I think it's very, I want to use the word innocent, but I don't know if that word fits. I think the word that maybe fits is just human. I think she's really using her humanity. We're seeing her humanity in the way that she is talking and celebrating and speaking about Liam. If you have not gone through grief, I'm very happy for you and grateful that you haven't, because God is sparing you from a lot of pain. But if you have gone through it, you know that grief looks different for so many people. And a lot of people are criticizing her because of the way that she is, expressing herself or even mentioning Liam, which is so crazy to me because I don't think that anyone has a right to tell anyone how to deal with things. You know, yes, of course she is posting about it. And yes, of course she is making money. But it doesn't mean that she's doing it just for that reason. It may mean that, like she said, she wants to help people. She still has to survive. She still has to eat. She still has a dog to take care of. She still has bills to pay. And if she can heal and make money at the same time, I don't see the wrong in that. You know what I mean? Like, would you want her to be in her room by herself crying day and night? Or do you want her to talk about it and possibly lift others who are grieving and make them try to find their own version of healing and their own version of bringing peace to themselves? So I just don't see the issue with it. And I think that it's wrong for people to push her into the healing that they believe that she needs to do. Do you know what I mean? I think that, I think what her friend said was right. I think that if their love was as true as she talks about and how he talks about it, I do believe that he is waiting for her. Now, one thing that has been on a lot of people's minds is, how long does she heal for? And is she going to date again, or is she dating, or how does that look for in her future? I don't believe that Kate Cassidy is going to be by herself for the rest of her life. I do think that there will come a time where she's going to feel ready to possibly maybe date. And I saw a comment saying that if she ever dates again, that she never loved Liam. But that's not fair to say either. I think that everyone is different. There are people who never find love again or who don't want to find love again, but there are people who love finds them. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I just don't know why people have the audacity and the entitlement to tell people how to grieve. That for me will be something I will never understand. That will be something that I just never could relate to, nor do I want to relate to that. When I lost my brother, and I mention him a lot, and I apologize because I see sometimes comments saying, can you not mention him in every video? You know, it just is what it is. But when I lost him, I didn't talk about him. I worried about my family. I worried about, you know, my family and how they're healing. And at the same time, my grandmother was going through dementia. So I was taking care of her. And every single day she would ask about me. And as a family, we decided not to tell her that he passed because she would have to relive that hurt every single day because she would forget everything. So we decided just to say that, you know, he's in Miami. He's doing great, you know. And that was very difficult because I had to lie to her because it was just me taking care of her. So I had to lie to her almost every day when she goes, oh my God, how come he hasn't called or this? I'm like, oh, you know, he's in school or he's working or, you know, whatever. Like, I always lying. And this was just weeks, months after he passed. So like for me, it was like this really weird universe where I'm like, is he? Wait, what? You know? And I would wake up and I'd be like, oh my God, oh no, you know? And I decided to do a very unhealthy way of healing. I didn't talk about it, didn't want to face it, didn't want to hear or listen or do anything that reminded me of him, and just kind of dealt with the pain by myself. But Kate and those who choose to talk about it, they're doing such good work, not only for themselves, but for so many people out there. So long story short, grief looks different for everyone. The way she's handling it is a way that she knows how to, and I think it's a good way to do so. And if I could go back, I would immediately get therapy. I would immediately talk about it. I would immediately be open about it, not only to help myself, but to help others who had dealt with the same. So I'm just saying, I feel bad for how much I sent hate her way, because I know I did. But I was entitled, and I think it was my own frustration, because I feel like had I been there for my brother, maybe he would still be there. So it's like this really weird cross paths. But this is her life, this is my life, and I have nothing to do with her life because I don't know them. So Kate, I'm sending love your way, and what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. I love you all so much, and if you're going through something, you know I'm here for you, and I love you. Mwah.